Oh yeah, there's that as well. Dragon Priest is definitely worse versus aggro. You might even ban a rogue or something, but we do see the Priest ban here.
Oh, no. I'm actually a little bit relieved.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the trauma
too
again.
close for that.
We are. We're in slapping range.
At least we had Darrow between us to just kind of hold back the river. But Priest taken away from Dan, so that doesn't mean he has the Warlock, Rogue, and Paladin. Mysterious has his Warlock taken away. Again, we've not seen it yet so far in the tournament. All right, I'm going to go for predictions then from you two guys. Falcone, who do you think is going to take this one?
Do you know what? I think Dan really is the dark horse in this tournament. He's definitely a character, and I think he might have an edge over Mysterious. But then again, Mysterious, he's the guy that's always in the finals. He's got so much experience playing on this stage. Maybe that's going to help him out, because that's one area in which Dan has been struggling all weekend. He does not have experience playing on stage.
I think dark is the key word in Dark Horse as well. Ball Control, who do you think is going to take this one?
Well, Mysterious has been third in the last 3 Prems. The winner of this goes into the next final, and then the loser of that will be third. Ooh. So I think Mysterious wins this one, loses the next one, finishes third.
All right, well, let's jump into this losers bracket semi-final.
Danswf versus Mysterious.
Thank you for recording that for us, Falcone. It's
No, mine's better.
Yours is better?
Yeah. Versus.
Well, just the versus bit.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
It wasn't fast enough. It wasn't. Anyways.
We'll relay that to him.
I'm being very precious. I realize that.
No, I like it. I like the passion. Speaking of passion, Dan is going to be kicking things off with his Paladin, which, Boy, you said, maybe might be the weak link in this lineup.
Yeah, he's just going with maybe the weakest deck first, trying to get an easy win in. Well, an easy win. Of course, all wins are difficult. But yeah, he keeps the deckhand here because he wants to get his Pirates out and not get eaten by the Galacca. We see that Galacca, which is the key card in Mysterious's hand. Getting that down on a Pirate is game-winning in this matchup.
Yeah, how good is Mysterious's hand to counter this, though? I guess the Blood Cell Corsair, just the fact that it's a 1-2, lines it up nicely against these 1-1s. It comes with patches. Obviously, Diamol also very well statted to deal with this, but hey, why not play both?
Yeah, he knows Dan's playing a bunch of 3-mana weapons, but he's thinking, if I can get on board ahead early, I can take all the value trades, and being ahead in an aggro mirror early is very important, just because all those value trades are so strong. Yeah, and Dan just, again, hero power he feels is too slow, straight on the board.
It's a lot of early pressure from Dan, which you definitely need, but now this Mark of Yashraj is, Galacca Crawler, sorry, is going to be the perfect way to just combat the early pressure from Dan.
Yeah, Mysterious, not normally an emote there, pulls out the emote, maybe trying to get a little bit of tilt on Dan.
I mean, if you can tilt anyone,
yes,
it's probably Dan SWF. And I know it was a point of controversy. We haven't really discussed it too much, but how Dan celebrated this tournament against you in particular. I know on Twitter we had an interaction and we said, it's against you and you're not going to react like that. But Hello Leroy didn't take it as well. He didn't take the reaction line well. Do you think it is an overreaction from Dan when he wins games?
Yeah, normally just etiquette is you just sort of say GG, and if you're going to celebrate, you do it away from the person that you're doing. But I think that people can express their emotions, it's all right. I'm personally, it's not bothered myself what the other opponent's doing. I'm mainly concentrated on, did I misplay this series? Where did I go wrong? And I'm thinking everything through in my head about the series.
Yeah. Just when a player has just lost an important series like that, they like to take a second to think for themselves. And like I said on Twitter last night, while I think that there is an element of being respectful to your opponent that should be there, it does make it a little bit more entertaining. And for Hearthstone to continue as a spectator sport, that's important. Like, we need people to be entertained.
Plus the highlight reel of Dan just cheering is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep. So Mysterious 40 to Savage Draw here. Isn't really great, but does get some trades, cleaning up the board. And this Living Mana is the key card in the matchup. Paladin has nothing comparable. All these stats on board in an aggro mirror are just too much to deal with. And Dan has, like, maybe Sunkeeper Time is his top end, and that just isn't good against Living Mana as well. So it counts as the best card in Dan's deck almost.
If only Danswf Alpha were able to survive this turn, then he'd actually have a good shot at dealing with this.
Well, there's another one.
But, oh, there you go. Okay, take back what I said entirely. Let's go with if only he draws the next one. Yep. Okay, there it is. Great. He can't deal with everything, though. He can deal with most of these cards now. He can deal with, what's that, 3 of the mana trance, meaning that 2 survive.
Yeah, so Dan's thinking in his head, what draws do I need as well to come back? How does this work? And he thinks, if I clean this up, maybe get a call to arms, I can get back ahead on board. And he's thinking, yeah, cleaning up all these living manas is the best way to win. He needs board to win, gonna have to take all these trades.
Get a little smirk from Mysterious there. He knows just how important that Direwolf Alpha pickup was. As he is picking up Firefly, which goes nicely with the Elemental and the Power of the Wild to buff up everything, this is now verging on impossible for Dan to deal with.
I am surprised by the speed of which both these players are playing this game as well. I know the turns have been relatively simple, but I think they could do with just slowing down a little bit, especially Dan, just to take a step back.
Best draw in the deck? Is that the best draw in the deck?
Potentially. It does buff Mysterious's board, but yeah, he's going to have to trade multiple things in. Dan might be thinking to himself, is there any way I can draw maybe a Righteous Protector or something and then get a better Tarim and hope Mysterious dead draws something?
Yep. Love how Mysterious actually was the first player there to drop the well played, so he is going to try and use Dan's temperament against him.
Yeah, definitely. We see Dan quite emotive, looking quite down after that turn of the Firefly Power of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the call to arms, maybe a protector here that Dan's looking for.
Okay, well, sort of.
Yeah,
Same difference, right?
Yeah, unfortunately 15 damage on board with the Tarim. He can't even play it. Yeah, just hoping for a oh no, yeah, of course the taunt of the Tarim. Yeah. But he concedes anyway, so.
Yeah, even so, I think the game was pretty much done by that point. I mean, there is warrant to just playing that out.
I believe he should have played it out, yeah. Like, the 3/3 Divine Shield then eats up, in theory, another 2 of the 3/3s on the board. Yeah, it's looking bad, but there's no reason to concede early.
Sometimes there's a world where you call to arms, you get Juggler, Double Protector, Juggler Sticks, maybe. Dan's played a lot of this aggro paladin deck, I know. It's the main deck he's played on ladder, and I imagine he must just know it's like surely lost, or he just doesn't want to play a game that he's lost. If you're talking about mentality, he doesn't want to be sitting there losing a game and just wants to move on to the next one.
Oh, for sure. Getting more frustrated draw after draw. I think it was actually something we heard the players talking about earlier when potentially in a previous series, Dan played a little bit too long and was just frustrating himself even more. So maybe he's taken some advice on board from someone else in that aspect. But regardless, he goes 1-0 down. His Paladin has let him down again. And Mysterious takes that 1-0 lead with his Priest and his Rogue left.
Paladin's definitely been one of the more underperforming decks in this tournament, I believe.
Yep, well, we're sat on the desk with ball control, so I think we can say that. Yep.
Yes, I think ball control will definitely agree with me.
Indeed.
And we ignore that subject completely. It's weird, though, because Paladin has been performing so well across ladder. And I know that ladder and tournament don't always.
And in theory, with banning Warlock, it should be even stronger, but it just hasn't quite worked out that way. And now Dan, with his Warlock, has drawn patches.
Yeah, and then on the other side, you've got Raza, you've got Kazakus, you've got Velen, you've got so much tools already in hand.
Yeah, it's Mysterious doesn't quite have the board clear. Of course, Kazakus is that board clear, but only potentially. So maybe Dan could build up a big board here. We do see that Cleric, though, which counters the 2-1.
Dan has a giggle, as he just says, yeah, I drew patches.
Yep, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, forced to trade with the Cleric. Can't let the Priest start drawing cards here. And Mysterious just has the curve.
Yeah, he doesn't quite have all the tools. He doesn't have all the recipe for the cake, but the Kazakus, if you can get a decent potion here, you've got Raza to follow up.
Yep. And Dan here, very, very awkward. And gonna pray to not discard this Corridor Creeper.
Good. Would have liked to discard the coin, but that's okay, you know, he'll take it. He's still got Bone Mare in his hand. That's a big value card for a little bit later. The problem is getting something to stick when your opponent is just dropping Kazakus on turn 4.
I quite like the coin not being discarded, though. I kind of like still having the coin for potential turn 6 Bone Mare.
Sure.
Yep. And that was a very, very fast Kazakus potion. I imagine Mysterious got 4 AoE or 5 damage for this Corridor Creeper and just picked it instantly.
Or both.
Or both? Yeah, Dan respecting the 5 damage off the potion. No, he's not. He's just going face. I like that. I thought he traded there. Yeah, Mysterious thinks he's just better on board with this play, which makes a lot of sense.
Well, he's not in a hurry either. Like, he's not facing down that much damage. He's played the Raza. That means he can heal every single turn, including next turn with the potion. He's totally fine just playing Raza there.
Yep, makes a lot of sense. And now Dan, again, awkward position. He's forced to trade to protect his 2-4 here.
And again, just playing turns like... It feels like Dan's just saying, all right, I'm going to pretend I'm playing on ladder. I'm going to forget I'm even on a stage. I'm just going to play this how I would at home and just play nice, quick, and easy turns. He's got a turn 6 of coin into Bone Mare. Like, just gets everything out of his hand. He's got a Doom Guard then to follow up. And he's going to get rid of something.
We often talk about how players need to, slow down when they're on the stage. They're nervous, they play too quickly. But sometimes that can be to their detriment. Some players do naturally play faster, and when they slow down, they start to overthink themselves and then make the wrong play as a result. Maybe that's just the way Dan plays at home, and he's realized, hey, I'm going to just keep playing fast. That's what I do.
Yeah, Dan's brought decks like Aggro Paladin that only, I think, Coldhand's brought because that's what he likes playing, and if he likes playing them fast, might as well play faster. There are lots of other fast players on the scene, like, for instance, Casey, and that's just a play style that people have. Maybe you force your opponent to play fast almost just by playing with tempo, they then play with tempo. But yeah, the coin Bone Mare does come down.
It allows you to go with your gut instinct as well sometimes. I like what you said about overthinking, because if you do just go against your gut, then you second guess yourself, whereas sometimes your gut is right. Of course, that doesn't work all of the time, but
sometimes you just got a stomachache.
Yeah, sometimes you just have a stomach. Or trapped wind, as it were.
As we saw yesterday on stage, yeah.
Yeah, so we just get a glimpse of the potion here. Deal 4 to all. That isn't quite good enough to kill the Bone Mare. Mysterious is looking for a better board maybe, but...
Yeah,
it's deal 5, deal 4. Okay.
4 and 5,
That's good enough to clear everything, yeah.
The best potion, I think, against Zoom most of the time. Sometimes you want card draw, you are the priest, but it looks like Mysterious is doing a good enough job without.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so in the later stage of the game, that Gul'dan is the card which can come back in games where you think you might otherwise have lost. Dan now has to decide is, do I wait for Gul'dan on 10, or do I just play the Doom Guard and start smacking Mysterious in the head?
Of course, Mysterious knows exactly what Dan just drew because of the huge reaction, and he's about to see it one more time anyway. There you go, he goes with the smacking Mysterious in the head plan.
Yeah, Dan maybe just giving away too much information there with some of the reactions, and Mysterious, as you say, picking up on it. It's interesting to see how much Mysterious can pick up just from Dan's facial expressions.
Mysterious is very quiet. He's almost the opposite personality-wise to Dan. He doesn't say much at all, and obviously you can see he's very level-headed as he plays, and he's being very calculating as well. He's using the emotes as much as he can just to throw Dan off.
Yeah, Dan considering trading there because of Anduin. You're not beating Anduin with no cards in hand with the Priest on 25. Definitely going face there is the right option.
So we're thinking Lyra Shadow of Death here? Is that overkill? You can death the Doom Guard and then you're leaving a target that forces 5 damage to not go towards your face.
That's true, but how worried is Mysterious about taking that 5 damage at the moment? Taking 10 damage is a little bit worse. Maybe he can just play the death and not play Lyra.
Yeah, so Mysterious is thinking of the worst case scenario.
I like that too.
And he's going 7-7, contest the board really well here. Might as well just play it. Only Bone Mare can come down here to really annoy me, and that's just one draw, and he's already seen one of them.
Yep. And then he can just death the minion that's at home.
Yep, as well.
But now it's looking like Dan puts his head down. He's got to trade both of these into Velen, and that's not nice. Oh, he's not going to do it? Oh.
No, he's just going face, saying, you heal for 4, I'm pushing 10.
Binding heal allows him to heal for a little bit more than 4, though.
Yes, of course. He's just... Yeah, at this stage, Dan is hoping that Mysterious has one of the worst hands he could have with cards like Mind Blast. Even then, Mind Blast would push damage back, but basically just no Binding Heal, no Spirit Lash, for instance.
You can play Lyra in combination with all of these spells as well, and I think we might see another concede from Dan as well, as it's looking likely he's going to be facing a 2-0 deficit in this loser bracket semi-final.
Is there any reason not to play the Binding Heal this turn? Maybe it's not necessary to play it.
Yeah, the circle, there's no 14 damage burst coming from the Warlock side.
Do it anyway.
Having said that, 10 heal and a free card.
Well, that obviously baits out the concede. You can see Dan reaching for his mouse right there, and that's going to be the end of this game. As Dan Gaskin, to be clear, correctly said, we've got 2-0 lead.
We do, and Mysterious, it doesn't look phased. By any of it. He used the emote and he said greetings when Dan threw his hands up aloft when Gul'dan was drawn, but even when Gul'dan was discarded, Mysterious didn't even bat an eyelid.
But in the game before that as well, Mysterious put the well played down before Dan had even emoted anything. So
similarly to how you approach your game, I think, Ball Control, is you don't really show much emotion, except when you are on the brink of losing. You just have your head in your hands and you're thinking and you are solely focused on Hearthstone. Is there a position where you feel like people are too emotive and that hurts their Hearthstone ability? Like, have you ever got reads off people because they are like overreacting or celebrating?
Yeah, you see some players will just look around the stage, they look up at the sky when they draw a card or something, and you can definitely, if you see it a lot, just repetition of what people do, you can definitely start making reads from that. That's why I'm very much just trying to stay in the zone, hands overhead, just tunnel visioned on my screen, and that's it.
We had a nice montage yesterday, I don't know if you saw it, of the game between you and Dan. It was a montage of holding head. I said it was like a Nurofen advert or something.
It's just me tunnel visioning. I don't want to see any of the crowd, anything else, just only the game. None of Dan as well. Yeah.
How much harder do you think it makes it playing in front of a crowd compared to just playing on your own stream, for example?
Well, to start with, playing in front of a crowd back in Season 1 of this, it was definitely a new experience. It definitely got to me. I made some misplays I wouldn't normally have made. You're definitely a bit anxious about stage, about prize money and stuff. But with a lot of experience over time, you can just make it so it's just another game, essentially.
Yeah. But for a player like Dan, who hasn't played on stage before this weekend, yeah, it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
Well, just again.
Another game of Hearthstone as Patches is drawn again, and if that is one way to tilt you going into the game 3 and potentially the final game of the tournament, that is not going to be what Dan wanted to see, as, again, another telltale sign to Mysterious saying, okay, I've done it again, I've drawn Patches.
Mortal Coil is a great pickup from the Swashbuckler as well, giving Mysterious that extra damage he may need at some point to clear one of these big Zoo minions.
Yep. Having said that, with the Patches, Dan's hand still is good. He's got multiple 1-drops here that can test the 1-1s very well. He shouldn't be thinking too much about how unlucky he might be about Patches, and more thinking, how can I utilize this Patches well this game, and how can I get on board?
Yeah, even if it turn 4, you play Captain and Patches, for example, it isn't the end of the world. There is a lot of overreaction to drawing Patches most of the time that probably isn't necessarily warranted.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just the whole problem of being 1 card down for the rest of the game. Like, what was that extra card you could have drawn that you did not get the chance to draw because you didn't get Patches for free?
Yeah, so Mysterious was an awkward hand here. He's obviously, this turn looks like a dagger, but with this Edwin stranded, maybe he could Shadow Step one of his creatures and play it next to him with the Edwin, but then you're missing out on this 1-1 on board. We'll see what he does. Shadow Step can be used later as well with just other cards like SI for more damage.
Yeah, his hand's pretty clunky, Mysterious, to be honest. I mean, having the Leroy Jenkins is nice because you've got burst damage later, and you know that the Warlock is going to be tapping themselves quite down anyway. You
called it right there, Boar. Shadow Step is going to be used just in order to make it a 4-4 Edwin, which isn't even that exciting.
Yeah, and now from Dan's perspective, he knows that Edwin's going to come down next turn for certain. Having said that, he has no choice on this play, unfortunately. If he could prepare for that, he would. Oh, and he doesn't play the Patches here because of that dagger charge, wants to use it with the Captain, which makes a lot of sense.
Mysterious picks up Keleseth. Has Dan drawn Keleseth once yet in this series? I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Obviously, he doesn't run it in the Paladin deck, but...
And it's typical that Keleseth is drawn after you played the Shadow Step, but the fact that you've now got another Swash, another chance to generate a card, which is really important, especially when your opponent is going to be tapping into card after card after card, you generating things is going to be very highly valuable.
Yeah, so Mysterious is very scared of a Soulfire here on his Edwin, so he's going for this line. I imagine to see a Mortal Coil coming down to finish off this 1-2, and then just drawing buffed cards is obviously good, and maybe make a bigger Edwin as well. Yeah, interesting interaction there. Coil Cleaver gets reduced by the coil.
Yeah, when the card is drawn at the same time as the minion is destroyed, it works much the same way as the Spellstone, like Ultimate Infestation. It gets the buff.
Yeah, Dan's side, he's looking to use his Captains together with the Patches. Just plays this 1-5. There's no Cold Bloods in Mysterious deck, so no punish there, and it wants to get the Councilman down as early as possible so it can trade up into, say, a Chain Gang next turn.
Just looking like such a good position for Swashbuckler, for Mysterious here. That's not going to be very useful, though. Not for a long time. Discard your hand, clear the board. Cataclysm.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe against Gul'dan that could be useful, but apart from, but that's a very far away, yeah.
It's just the issue of throwing out all of your resources, and as the rogue, you often do have a lot of resources in your hand. You have a lot of high-end stuff.
Yeah, so Mysterious is scared of a potential Soulfire killing off the MP. Could have hit the Councilman here while it was still on one attack, get the value trade while you can. Now this Councilman's protected by some taunt that could snowball very, very large here and potentially trade into that large Edwin that Mysterious might have been planning to make.
Yeah, that Councilman is actually going to do some work. It's a card that's seen a little bit of play recently. It's not. When it first came out, we thought it was going to be in every Zoo deck ever. The card seemed insane. But here, Dan is showing why the card still has some power, especially behind a Sound Chain Gang.
Yeah, Mysterious just doing some math here. You can only kill off 2 minions here, so can't go Corridor Creeper and the Edwin, but just a 6/6 for 2 mana seems good to me.
Someone just got very excited.
Oh no, he can play them, yeah. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, Corridor Creeper plus the Edwin down.
Yeah, you can get a 4/4. And now that Keleseth has been played by Mysterious as well, does that change Dan's game plan at all? Is it one of those situations where you just have to go more aggressive because your opponent's going to be drawing more significant minions?
Yeah, he's thinking about cards in hand as well. From Dan's side, Mysterious has had this Leroy and this Bone Mare in hand for the whole game. The card on the far right, no read. Obviously, the Swashbuckler card is random. Dan might be thinking to himself, if Mysterious has a fairly dead turn next turn, how can I come back from this board position? And he's thinking that this Captain plus Patches is his best way to do this.
So he's killing off the SI7 agent with the Patches, I presume, or the Sound Chain. It doesn't really matter. It's where he's sending his damage elsewhere. I guess you're just killing off the 6/6.
Yeah, he might try and bait out for the Dreadlord, maybe hope that the 6/6 trades into the 5/3 and then get the Dreadlord down. So we might see him just go face it and hope that Mysterious essentially messes up or doesn't play around the card that Dan has.
Such a risky play, but yeah, he's going for it, and then keeping the taunt alive obviously makes sense. Hoping the 4/4 trades into that, the 6/6 trades into the Councilman, but the problem is Mysterious then has 6 mana to do pretty much whatever he wants with.
Yeah, Mysterious already pulled out that Patches with the Swashbuckler on turn 1, so Captain doesn't buff anything here, but we do see Dan reap the rewards here of his play, and this Dreadlord will swing the board back. Back to an extent, of course. They are seeing Corridor Creeper and Captain coming down.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Yes, dealing with the board that was there before, but there's a brand new 6/6 and 4/4 uncontested. And Dan is only putting up a 4/5 to deal with that. It's not good enough.
Yeah, so no AoE, of course, in Dan's deck. Still thinking of a way back into this game, maybe a second Dreadlord off the top if he plays the first one. Yeah, of course, there's Bone Mare coming down from Mysterious next turn. Dan's just praying that it's not Bone Mare, maybe another awkward situational card. But of course, with Cast Vision, we can see it.
Yeah, I think we're slowly creeping towards another 3-0, the second one running. And it's going to be for Mysterious, which would mean Dan SWF is going to be eliminated from the tournament.
No more interviews with Dan.
It's a shame. At least we got one. I'm happy that we were able to see one, although I'm not going to be too happy about it because Boar is here. And
the other one. We got another interview.
Yes, we got the one when he won this second game, yeah. But the good thing about Premiership is we know there's going to be another season. That means we will see Boar again, and we'll probably see Dan again as well, because they'll be invited back to compete. But 15 damage on board now. Nothing Dan can do. Head in hands. Flame Imp drawn, probably conceding. Mysterious moves on to face Toast Monster in the loser bracket final.
And what a game that is going to be. I think, all things considered, Wade Up, I'm quite happy with this result. I've been saying for the entire weekend, it would be great to see Mysterious get a good result here. He's been here consistently every time, just low-key.